guys, welcome from me, Championship Manager 0102. This is going to be one of those videos which is more a case of people's perspectives and views rather than anything within the game itself. You can see what it's called right there in the title, Tactic Theft. It's a bit of a controversial one, and the reason what prompted me for this was I had a conversation with a good friend recently, Gary Johnston. We were talking about tactics, and I think he's fell victim of, in the past, of being accused, I think we better call it, of tactic theft. And we had a conversation, and he picked up on a real solid point, and this solid point made me think about this video, if I'm honest with you. So tactic theft, what is it? How does it work? Is it fair? We all start our own tactics. Whether I'm sure we've all at some point tried somebody else's tactic in CM 0102. Let's just do that. We've all used somebody else's tactic, or I say somebody else's, even a default tactic. You know, if we're going to get pedantic on this, the default tactics are not. If someone's saying no, that's not your own tactic though. Well, neither are these default tactics. If you're going to get pedantic, you know, let's be honest with you. The idea really is whatever tactic you are using, whether it's within the game, should be played. If it's in that category of how the game should be played. And when I say that, I'm on about the three at the back, 2 wide players, non-whip ball. But however you play the game and whatever tactic you used, whether it's something that somebody else has used or not, it's still your own tactic. Now, let me show you something right now. All my tactics that I've, I want to say created, yeah, we all use, right, a lot of people, when they first start the game, they start with a 4-4-2 tactic, like that. And then they start making their own tactic, whether it be like that, false 9 or something like that, you know, and they all do it, don't they? Or we all do it, shall I say. But the bottom line is, you use that 4-4-2 as your base. So, in respect of my own tactics, I've used a base on everything. You know, it's a base. Now, if somebody else, let's take that one for example. I call it the Chacha slide, and I think my reason behind that was because I had my this player, this right winger, moving all the way over to the left, and this left winger moving all the way to the right. Now, if somebody was to say, I'm going to try that and then make a few adjustments, and let's say they just did that, and then they saved it as something else, I don't give a shit. You know, I'm not saying, if anything, it's a compliment. Now, this is the key thing here, right? Is let's hypothetically, and I quote here, let's hypothetically say Barcelona this weekend coming played this brand new tactic with 6 at the back. Let's just say, you know, let's just say they had 4 at the back with 2 sweepers, right, and 3 in the middle and 1 up top, and they won 10-0, right? They dominated, and then Celta Vigo, the following week, thought, well, let's try that, and Celta Vigo did it. Well, Celta Vigo are not going to get penalised, didn't they? Are they in the Liga? And then Man United copy it. You know, it's a fact. I mean, and you can tell this by the current update of CM. By reality, most teams are using 4-3-3 inside forwards. That's as opposed to the ODB, which is what I've loaded here. Most teams use an inside front 3 like that. Some are doing. Man United tend to do that. You know, no one's really using a DMC as much as they used to. So you know, I think Gary hit on a really good point. Now, the reason I'm using Gary as my example here is, let me show you my boom tactic. And I call it boom because when I first modified this, where is it, boom original. When I first made this tactic, it's a very narrow formation. And I say that I created it as in I changed a lot of the, not so much the team instructions, but a lot of the individual instructions, and I put my own sort of twist on it. Gary did a very similar, and I'm pretty sure it was the same sort of. I'm sure it was something like that. I'm not sure. I think Gary was accused of we were playing a network game, me, Gary, and another guy, I forget who it was, and we were all using narrow formations, and Gary used this formation, chopped and changed it a little bit with a few bits and pieces, and the guy we were playing, I forget who it was, the guy, he threw a bit of a wobbly, in all honesty, and he actually, in all honesty, he ruined his friendship with Gary, because he started having, I think he lost the game to Gary, and he's like, oh, only because you used a tactic that I made, and it was really unnecessary. So, and to be fair, it's no, and I've always used this, I tend to always use this formation. I think my brother Baz always used this formation. I think Baz is recently using something like that, I think he's using, Baz is. I'm sure it's something like that. Baz uses a lot, but generally speaking, we've always used. We've always used something like that. But the definition of tactic theft. Every tactic has a baseline. Now, unless you're going to start your tactic, so so go back to what I just said as an example for Barcelona. If they were to do something like that, for example, and that was to pay off. I'll tell you something else I spotted recently, late last season. Leeds United, I may have mentioned this in another season, Leeds United played this formation right there. That was Leeds United in real life. And people were very quick on the Facebook CM group to say, you see, they're playing a centralised formation, and yet people say it's cheating, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah. But you know what? It exploits the game, but that's another argument. So, I'm intrigued to know people's views here on this so-called tactic theft, because when you first start a brand new CN game, not so much on the ODB, but on the update, you can load default tactics, which basically is you can load all the default tactics when you first load a game. Not when you've restored a game, but when you first start a brand new game on the update, you can load a default tactic, which basically means you have access to all the tactics that the AI have. And let me let's just check something. I don't know if I've got them. No, I haven't. I thought I might have had some more there. So, you see, I don't think anyone's ever used any tactic like that, and I've never really used it. It's something that I've pissed around with. Let's pretend I was to have a save with that, and somebody was to say, do you know what, I like the look at that, and somebody was to, I don't know, I haven't even done too much on it, and alter a load of this and that, and then called it whatever they want. I mean, there was a formation Andy Vince did, and I really liked it, right, and it was something like this, and I even remember what he called it. It was something like this. Oh no, I've got that totally wrong, haven't I? He had 4 at the back. And it was something like that, I believe. And I even remember he called it, Gary, if you're there, do you remember what you called this? It was resistance. And I really like that. And that's funny though, that I really like that, because one of my other favourite formations, I don't always use it and it's not very effective, is my Tyson Fury one, which is, it's that same sort of concept, that the DMC effect. That formation, that Tyson, if you remember on one of my other videos, I used a base formation on that, was Fury of the Beast, hence the title name, Tyson Fury, which was the same setup, but I made mine not with Bob, and I changed a lot of my individuals. So you could say, I'm a thief, but if somebody was to say you're a thief, I would just say fuck off, to be honest with you. So let me know what your views are on tactic theft. I am very, very intrigued. Enjoy the video, guys. Till next time, take it easy from me.